you are viewing GeekyCrohnsChick. The reason why it's GeekyCrohnsChick is, well, I'm a geek and I have Crohn's. So this page is all going to be about all things geeky, but mostly Crohn's disease. You're all asking, what is Crohn's disease? Well, for me, basically, being a girl is the most unfeminine disease you could ever have. Lucky for me, most of my friends are guys, so they don't mind girls who burp, fart, etc. And those of you out there, girls, are going, we don't fart. Stop lying. But the definition of Crohn's disease is actually, let's see here, inflammatory bowel disease. It can affect the GI tract from the mouth to the bottom, and it is more commonly found in the small intestine. But basically, Crohn's disease is mostly known for extreme pain and, well, again, diarrhea. Sorry. And I know some of you out there are thinking of that old baseball song. I can't think of it right now. But you know, when you're sliding into first, etc., etc. Yeah. That's the perfect theme for those of Crohn's. I can joke about Crohn's, and I like to so much now, is I've had Crohn's for over 11 years. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in April of 2002. At first, no one really knew what Crohn's disease was, couldn't find much information, except I was literally told I was never going to go to college. And at that time, I was actually looking into colleges, so for me, it really sucked. Luckily, I was able to pull through and go to college. But after a while, even though I was technically in remission, college wound up kind of sucking at some extent because of the Fs or withdrawals having to do with Crohn's disease. And it's just not fun. How I found out about Crohn's disease wasn't good at all. But all of a sudden it got to the point where I couldn't eat. I'd eat a few bites and I would get sick. And it was just horrible. And finally, after about 6 months or so of going from doctor to doctor to many ER visits, it wound up being one day where I couldn't even stand up straight and walk. So we finally went to the ER, and this one doctor finally looked at me and said, oh, you need a CAT scan, and put me through the CAT scan, and much to my surprise came out and said, you have a perforated intestine. You need emergency surgery. Not fun. And I remember when I came out of surgery, I was told, you have Crohn's disease. You're lucky that you actually came in when you did. You had 3-4 hours to live if you didn't come in. Or period. And not fun. So from there, I went to a couple of different medications. I remember there was Pentasa, there was Asacol, and many different steroids. Prednisone is not fun. I actually wound up getting cataracts from prednisone. That's the only reason why you do not see me wearing glasses right now. Off and on, you may see me wearing glasses, because it all depends. Unfortunately, I've had a couple of doses of prednisone since surgery for cataracts, so my vision fluctuates. But right now, I am actually on Humira, which I'm very lucky the people at Abbott are nice, especially with those without insurance. I'll get to that in a minute. But Humira is an injection. This is one I've already used. I'm not going to open up one right now because my dose is actually not due for another day or so. But basically, this is the thing. You hit it, A needle comes out and it injects into you. And the places you are supposed to put it in is either your abdomen or your thigh. And let me tell you, neither one is fun. And this thing will burn. And then, in order to dispose of this guy, you have to have one of these fun things. A sharps container. Those are not too fun. Luckily, the people, again, for that stuff, once they realize you have to have a home system for that, they're cool. But still, having to do all that is not fun. And actually, within the past 6 months to a year, I have had some adverse reactions to Humira, but I'm not fully at the stage to go farther on different meds, which one of those meds would be Remicade, which personally I'm not too thrilled about. I don't like hospitals after all the times I've been in it, or any kind of thing like that. And Remicade is an infusion. You have to sit there for a while and have something go in you. Humira, luckily, is like, depending on how long you want to hold it, I want to say best, like, hold it at least 10 to 15 seconds. You'll hear like a slurp sound when it enters in you. And then what I do is I just sit still for like 10 minutes after I take it. Whatever part of my body, stomach or leg, usually it's the leg, I'll put it in. I just don't move that body part for a while. As I was saying, for those who don't have insurance, that kind of goes into one of the many issues with people who have Crohn's disease or a chronic illness. You have problems after a while keeping insurance. One of the reasons why you have problems keeping insurance is, say you have a job that offers great insurance benefits. You take that job, and they'll accept you if you've had pre-existing conditions, which is like Crohn's. No problem. But if you want to switch from that job insurance, say you lose the job, or somehow you're fired but not from that job, more so let go due to other conditions, but namely it's because of your health, like I've had, and you want to go to a different insurance company, a lot of insurance companies will turn you down because of Crohn's. They'll just send you a letter saying pre-existing conditions, but if you're lucky, you can call that company and ask, please tell me why, and there can be somebody who bends the rules. I had somebody who bent the rules for me and told me, yes, it was because of Crohn's, even though they would not state in the letter. That lady bent the rules for me, but she told me, yes, it was because of Crohn's disease that I couldn't switch my insurance companies. So right now, I'm insuranceless. And unfortunately, insuranceless and jobless for anybody with a chronic disease, especially Crohn's, is horrible. But if you're lucky, and so far I've been somewhat lucky to some extent as far as medications, you can actually find like companies that will help you with your meds and everything. Now, hospital bills, on the other hand, that's a touch and go situation. And sorry, I've got a cat going crazy around in the background there, but it's just medical bills. It's not fun. So then, as I'm sure you are asking now, okay, what about a job? For those with Crohn's disease, a job can be okay. Some can actually handle a job. I actually handled 2 jobs. Son of a... I'm sorry for the interruption. I had a cat go completely bazonkers. Yes, I have 2 cats, which I love to death. And honestly, with Crohn's, you need pets. Probably random from what we were talking about, but it's good. With Crohn's, one thing you definitely need around you, any kind of disease, anything that goes wrong with you, you need pets around you, because as crappy as you are feeling ever, those pets can be around and cheer you up 100%. They'll do something stupid or just something just totally sweet, like cuddle you, and you know, you get your heartstrings pulled and it's awesome. But jobs. For jobs, most people with Crohn's, they can have a normal they can have a normal job. They can live normal. You know, I actually, for many years, I did a normal job. When I was in college, I was going to college and going to school, and going to school, college, and working there, and everything was fine. And then I was actually going 2 jobs at once. There was more than one occasion where I had 2 jobs at once when I was in college, and everything was fine. Until about the last year and a half of school, I finally had a Crohn's issue where all my doctors just finally told me, stop, calm down, everything, the stress of everything getting close to graduation was getting to me with the Crohn's, which, yes, stress can affect. Ignore what anyone else says to you. Stress can affect any disease. It's not, people say, oh, it's all in your head. It's not. Stress can affect your body in many ways, and with Crohn's disease, it is actually a factor. But I was actually told to just stop, only do 1 job, only go on with school. I was actually very lucky after I had the hospitalization a little bit with that problem when I was actually told that. One of the best things about that was I was actually lucky to be able to go to Italy and Greece right after that. And one of the only reasons, like, I actually still went on, number 1, I paid for that. Number 2 was my doctors actually said, let her go, it's a good thing, it's going to be a stress reliever. She needs this right now. So I went, and honestly, it was the best thing ever. And Italy especially made me realize how much certain diets can affect your Crohn's disease. Many people say, and I actually believe, there really, to some extent, is no certain diet for Crohn's disease. But on the other hand, I have noticed the more natural you go, the better you are. In Italy, with everything being like pretty much natural there and freshly grown and all that, I had only 1 night of issues. And I'll admit, that night of issues was too much drinking. Hey, college kids, what are you gonna do? But besides that, I was probably the healthiest I ever was. So for diets now, I actually try to stay as diet-wise, I try to stay as natural or organic as I can. Potty break. Okay, so, sorry about that. Where was I? Diet. So, yeah, as natural as possible is better. But we'll get more into that in another video, if you guys want another video. I hope you do. But, honestly, it's touch and go. You can have days where you can feel really awesome, and there's no problems. And then you can have days where it's like, you want it to be good, to where it's like, you almost don't want to eat anything. Like, honestly, I've had big events that I've gone to where I was like, I'm afraid to eat anything, really, because I don't want to have any issues. But on the other hand, I've had that mess me up, because if you don't eat, you know, to some extent, Crohn's can have kind of a diabetes effect where it can mess up your blood sugar. And I personally have actually had it where I've had to have a blood sugar monitor. You know, stick your finger and test it. I actually had to have that, and I still do it once in a while. I have to check it, because it can really mess you up. And it's not only that, it's also your electrolytes. You really have to watch your electrolytes. So, because of that, it's like the littlest thing you do exercising or anything, you want to make sure you have a lot of electrolytes in your system. And probably the best thing is honestly Pedialyte, store brand, whatever. I've tried a lot of store brand stuff, and probably like the best store brands is, well, I'll let you guys decide that for yourself because each person is different. But for me, I just go for store brand Pedialyte because that's better value. Hey, person with a disease like this, you want to go for what you can afford. And when you get a chronic illness and you don't have insurance and jobs are touch and go, you want to save money. How it really feels for people with Crohn's disease is it sucks. You don't want to be sick. And you don't want really anyone else to look at you as sick, but you want them to understand who you are and what you are and what you're dealing with. You don't want sympathy. You just want respect. You do not want someone to sit there and be like, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. Or to like be, you're faking. Which honestly, I have had people tell me, you're faking. It's all in your head. Oh, maybe if you just exercise. Maybe if you just lose weight. Maybe if you just eat right. Or maybe if you go vegetarian or this and that or da da da. No one can tell you what to do and what works for you because each case of Crohn's disease and a chronic illness is different. What works for one person isn't going to work for another. It's actually so annoying. But on the other hand, you go on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter actually is probably one of the best places to do it. I've actually found, oddly enough, I can be myself more on Twitter than I can on Facebook. Twitter, they accept you. Facebook, even some of your closest friends can turn their back on you for talking about your disease. And that stinks. I have had some of my closest friends and even family members lash out at me because I couldn't make an event, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that I promised or I really wanted to do, or spend time with them. My closest friends, family members, whatever. I've had people just like hate me for like a day or hold a vendetta against me or just stop talking to me because of it. And honestly, it stinks. I don't want your sympathy. Nobody with Crohn's disease wants sympathy. They just want understanding. Understand that we have no control over this. We don't want this to happen to us, but we have no control. As much as we fight and fight and fight for control, there are days when Crohn's wins. And on those days that Crohn's wins, you have no idea how much we wish we could totally be a professional boxer and kick their freaking butt. You know, just take your fist and smack the hell out of them. But as someone with Crohn's, you really can't get angry too much, because with Crohn's, with any chronic illness, you just have to keep fighting and show people that you're still here, that you're going to keep going, and that you're strong. Why did I make this page? I wanted to show my side. I wanted to get a voice out there. I wanted to connect. Hopefully I have. I'm hoping to do more videos. And I'm hoping everyone understands this and enjoyed this, and from here on out, I want to hear your thoughts, your questions. What do you want to know about? And also, off and on, I mean, this page won't just be about Crohn's, that'll be the main thing, but it'll be about geeky things as well, about my life and etc. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it made sense, and I'll see you next time. Adios, fellow cronies and geeks. Love yas.